Welcome and thank you for joining me on this week 10. I'd like to ask you a question. Do you think you could paint a portrait of peace? What would it look like? What would be in it? Just take a minute and think about what it would look like. Paint a portrait of peace. Now, if you're like me, maybe you're not a painter at all. But just imagine what someone else's portrait of peace would look like. I want to share with you a fable about a king, a very rich king, who wanted just that, a portrait of peace. So he told all of his subjects to find artists to bring their paintings of peace for him to look at. And he would give a grand prize for the one that resembled peace in his mind. So all throughout his land, everybody started painting portraits. And he had hundreds, if not thousands, of portraits to go through when the day came. So the king sat there with his lovely subjects in his court, and one by one they unveiled the pictures, the portraits of peace. And as they went through them, they kept going, and he couldn't quite find what he was looking for. And he got down to the last two portraits, and he unveiled one, and everybody was just in awe. You could hear an audible awe with the vibrant colors, the beauty. It was a picture of nature, a portrait of nature, and a lake. And in the reflection, the lake was so calm, the reflection showed the mountains and the trees, even the wildflowers were reflected in this peace-filled lake. And he thought to himself, this is it. This is peace. And he asked his subjects, is this peace? They said, oh, yes, Your Highness, this is peace. So he unveiled the last portrait, and it was quite the opposite. It was a close-up of a storm. You could see the rain and the mist floating around inside the trees and the side of this tree and the branch coming out. And behind it, there was a waterfall. And you could just see the rain dripping as if the storm was happening in real time. It was so, the colors were so vibrant. And so the picture was so expressive. And the king thought for a minute, wow, how can this be peace? And as he began to look closer, he noticed on the branch of a tree there was a nest. And inside the nest, there was a mother bird. And this mother bird was singing. And he thought to himself, I see. So he asked his subjects which of the two they thought was peace. And of course, all of them voted for the calm, still lake. And the king was very wise indeed. And he said, the peace is in the mother bird as she sings in the midst of all the turbulence around her. She finds peace in the storm. My scripture today is John 16:33. Jesus tells us, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Jesus is preparing his disciples for his departure, but he wants to leave them with the wisest of words, that even though the times to come will have many storms, like the bird was encountering, they can take heart that there is peace beyond, because he is proof that he has overcome this world, and they shall too. The metaphysical definition from the revealing word of peace is harmony and tranquility derived from the awareness of Christ consciousness. Harmony and tranquility derived from the awareness of Christ consciousness. Peace is in our Christ consciousness. We are going to have tribulation in our life. Most of my childhood and my young adulthood, I didn't understand peace. I lived in a very reactive world. Peace wasn't something even on my radar. And I didn't know that it was something that I could find to help me grow through and into my own spirituality. In 1999, I found a little chapel in Memphis, Tennessee called Unity of Memphis. And that's where I started learning about peace. I learned about the 5 basic beauty principles. And those principles taught me peace, along with many other teachings from the New Thought leaders and Unity leaders. And as I look back on my life, I wonder how much I lost because of the peace that I couldn't find then. And I'm grateful for how much I've gained from the peace that I know and I understand now. What does tribulation look like for you? Could it be the loss of a friend or a job or not having enough money to pay the bills or having not enough time to get things done? Tribulation is going to come. Unexpected bills are going to come. Unexpected problems are going to show up. They're going to arise because we live in a very physical environment. These things are actually part of our physical space. These turbulent times, the storms that come in our life. And what is the source of our true peace, right? Is it the house? Is it the things around us? How do we find peace in this turbulence? How do we know peace with no peace around us? So it's KNOW peace with no NO peace around us. How do we find it? Well, I would suggest the fourth unity principle is through prayer and meditation, our hearts and minds become aligned with God and we are transformed. Through prayer and meditation, we are transformed because we align up with that peace and we become that bird in the midst of the storm. How do we overcome all these things that are going on? These things that fly in from nowhere. You know, we can do that with the fourth principle. There are other ways that we can do this. We can know through scripture that God is there and that all is, and we can understand, as Unity teaches, divine order is happening in my life. One way the ego overcomes the storm is he flies into it. And as he senses the storm begin to come, the eagle takes flight and doesn't head away from the storm, actually heads towards the storm. And as its mighty wide wingspan comes across the turbulence of the wind, it uses the wind to bring itself up, to rise above the storm and be peaceful and centered above the storm. And it is our overcoming that we remember this, that take heart, for I have overcome this world. Like the robin in the portrait singing. I created an acronym for peace that I would like to share with you. P, prayer and meditation, the fourth principle of unity. E, empathy for ourselves and others. We open that space for people to be who they are. A, allow time to connect, express, and more. Give ourselves the time that we need to get through. Instead of trying to hurry to a decision or come up with an answer now, sometimes pause and allow ourselves the time. C, courage. Take heart. Be courageous in all that you do. In recovery, we call that act as if. So be courageous, even when the storm is all about us, till we can have our own inner courage and know that we will overcome. And E is be a living example of peace towards others. Be the example in the world. Forgive, let go, release, pray, meditate, everything you do, but live your life as an example in action for others to follow. Charles Fillmore says this about peace. Man's whole character is determined by the thoughts for which he allows a place in his mind. A strong or weak man is what he is because of repeated thoughts of strength or weakness. Steadfast affirmations of peace will harmonize the whole body structure and open the way to attainment of healthy conditions in mind and body. Steadfast affirmations of peace. That's what we need. We need to remember we affirm our own peace. So let's do that now. Let's practice affirming our peace. So I want to invite you into a meditation. And you can keep your eyes open or you can close them, whatever you're comfortable. But I just want us to have a few moments here to remember peace. So as you take your next breath in, I am God, and release. Again, in and release. Finding the comfort of your chair, feeling supported in this moment. We journey to our heart center. It's just a few inches from our thinking brain, bringing us into our heart space. In there is warmth. Continuing to breathe in and out. You feel this warmth filling up your lungs, filling up your body, like a ray of sunshine warming you from the inside. Notice that in this space, in this connection, there is peace. There are times that will come to disturb it. And yet we know that our journey back to our heart space brings us peace. Allow this peace to spread through every cell with every breath. Notice how it feels warm, safe, comfortable, and even refreshing to let go of everything that is not peace in our lives and not peace-filled. Those things don't belong. We can let them go easily as we can let go of every breath we release. It's simple, it's easy, it's heartwarming, and it's peace-filled. So as you sit here for the next few moments in silence, remember, peace be still. I am peace. I share my peace in this world. I steadfastly affirm peace in my life. Peace is who I am. Peace is who I always shall be. As you begin your next breath, to come back to the here and the now, you recognize peace is your birthright. You portray peace in your life. You are peace. As you wiggle your toes and your fingers, and when you're ready, open your eyes. It feels good to share peace with you. It feels right. And I so appreciate you being here today. I would like to leave you with another scripture as we depart for today. John 14:27, where Jesus says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." We can find peace and be peace in every storm. And in the moments when you find yourself out of peace, you can stop, pause, breathe in peace, release peace, and start again. Be peace. Go paint your own portrait of peace in your life. Namaste.